I'm going to start with you here, Will. Do you agree with Shaq?
I only agree with Shaq on one part of what he's talking about.
Okay.
I agree that the idea at some point in your career, your book is already written. No matter what you do in those last final 2 or 3 years, the public's mind is already made up. The barroom debate is over. Your legacy is writ large, especially when you're at the tail end of a bench or it's not your team specifically in a place like the NBA. That book is written. Not much you can do to change it. But here's where I disagree with Shaq. 2 very, very important ways. Number 1, LeBron's not there. LeBron is not at the Shaq Cleveland, Shaq Phoenix, Shaq Boston days. He's not in that place in his career. He's going to lead a team no matter where he goes. Whether or not he's in a Lakers uniform or a Sixers uniform or a Rockets uniform, he is going to be leading that team. And any title he acquires along the way will be his to brag about. It will be his fans to champion any kind of LeBron versus Michael Jordan debate. He's not where Shaq was. But this is the second reason I disagree with Shaq. And I think it's even actually more important. If players do, and I don't know the motivation and psychology of every player. I don't know the motivation of Shaq. I don't know it of LeBron. But if your motivation is to win barroom debates, so, LeBron lovers like Max might show up at the debate and talk about how many championships he won towards the tail end of his career. If that's your goal, I question whether or not you're going to win them anyway. I would think that the guys that suit up aren't worried about whether or not their ring count versus Mike or their ring count versus Steph, or whatever it may be. I'm not saying they don't care about it. That's not why you suit up every day. That's not why you keep coming back. You want to win regardless. You want to win because it's about winning, not because it's an individual achievement, not for your legacy, but because why else are you out there? Why else do you put a uniform on but to win? Those are 2 ways I disagree with Shaq.
Go ahead, Max.
Well, let's put it this way. Michael Jordan has 6 championships, Will. You know why? It's because Magic had 5. I know Bill Russell had many more, but the point was in the modern era, he was really shooting at the non-bigs. Kareem had 6. People were talking about the non-bigs. Magic had 5. Jordan got 6. I think that was on his mind. He wanted to have the most. He wanted to prove he was the greatest who ever did it. And I think that's very much on LeBron's mind, too. I agree with you. He's not in the same position in his career that Shaq was when Shaq was trying to just kind of add himself to a team that was already ready, maybe give them a little extra, and he was really not at all the same player he once was. I'm not talking about the Dwayne Wade Heat teams. I mean post-Dwayne Wade Heat teams that Shaq joined. So I agree with you there. But there's a finer point here. There are levels to this. And it's not, Max is a LeBron lover. I say Michael Jordan's the greatest player who ever lived.
I know you do.
I don't think of LeBron out of proportion to his actual achievements and greatness on the court. But I would say, as hard as it is to imagine, there is a level above Shaq, and LeBron is on it. It sounds funny to say because for people who didn't live through the Shaq era, Shaq was so dominating. He was on the same team with a prime Kobe, and he was recognized as the best player on the team with a prime Kobe. He was the unstoppable force in the NBA and maybe in sports. And yet LeBron is even better than that, guys. He's a greater player. There's no such thing as way greater than Shaq. We're talking about very slight levels. But LeBron's done it. So what applies to Shaq doesn't quite apply to LeBron. LeBron is trying to make the case that he's the greatest who ever did it. And I think he's already demonstrated that he's greater than all except one. You want to argue Kareem? I won't argue that strenuously against it. But that makes him top 3 in the modern era. Shaq is not quite on that level. So it sounds ridiculous to say, I know. Shaq is that great. But LeBron's even better, guys.